what do we do? Because I know, like Abigail Schreier has said, and this is what I would do too, that if your kid comes home and, without having had any gender dysphoria from age 2, which they will have if they genuinely suffer from gender dysphoria, if they come home at 16 and suddenly say, I'm trans, or your kid suddenly comes home at 16 and says, I'm now a cutter, I have borderline personality disorder, something they didn't. Sure, she says, you're taking a 6-month, a year-long trip to Europe. The phone doesn't come. The screens don't come. Wherever. It could be camping. It doesn't have to be Europe. Right. But I'm just saying, get them away. There is a way of addressing this addiction and its pernicious effect on your child's mental health.
Yeah, it's an invasive species that, I equate it to a digital social virus. And that's when we're knowing that when is it the real psychiatric disorder? When is it real authentic gender dysphoria or borderline personality disorder? It's when you remove the toxin, when you remove social media, and if the symptoms go away, then it wasn't the real deal. If the person's still struggling with, typically those disorders show themselves very early on in early infancy. So they don't tend to manifest themselves in late adolescence. So a lot of these are social contagions. I as a psychologist, I fully acknowledge gender dysphoria, but the exponential spike that we've been seeing over the last 5 to 10 years clearly is you can trace back to the social contagion effect. But we've not only normalized, we've tried to normalize gender dysphoria, but now we've idealized it. Now it's cool to be trans, and we are a social species, and teenagers who are struggling with their identity are going to think that the solutions to some of their discomfort is external. In addiction, we know that sometimes when people struggle with their own lives and they're trying to escape, they do what's called a geographic. So an addict who hates their lives might move to Los Angeles because they think, well, the solution is in Los Angeles. I'm doing a geographic. I think gender dysphoria in a lot of cases and a lot of our psychiatric, assuming some of these psychiatric behaviors is doing sort of a biological geographic. You don't like who you are. You're going through some depression or some other types of issues. And you say, well, hey, the solution might be maybe if I change my biology or if I change and I assume this other identity. And that's clearly not the answer because the answer is internal. Sometimes these are real psychiatric issues, but the percentages tend to be really small, not the numbers that we've been seeing over the last 5 to 10 years. They clearly have been driven by social media. And even Erica Anderson, Dr. Anderson, the 70-year-old trans psychologist, has said the same. She said this has gone too far. And clearly these are being amplified by quarantines, COVID, and social media increases in young people's lives.
Yeah. We had Dr. Anderson on the show and made a lot of sense and was very sensible about the whole issue. But how do you know, right? Because you can't really disconnect your child from all technology in today's day and age. And so is it the same, I like to think if my child, God forbid, they're young, but like if they start drinking or started taking drugs and it crosses over to a place where it's not just like a kid being a kid, but an addiction, I like to think I'd know. I feel the same about technology, but it's trickier because that they can do in your home while you're there and you're distracted and it's not like they come out smelling like marijuana after they've been on the iPad for 8 hours.
Right.
So how do you know?
Yeah, I was an expert witness on a capital murder case in Palm Beach County earlier this year where there was a 16-year-old Palm Beach County white suburban skater-looking kid who got radicalized into Islam and became an ISIS warrior through constant YouTube exposure he started going down the YouTube rabbit hole through ISIS, and they indoctrinated him in his bedroom over the course of several months. And he committed one of the most horrific murders that I don't have to go over now. But this once young, nice kid and his mother, his single mom, thought he was just up in his bedroom, on the computer. She didn't realize that he went in the period of 6 to 8 months from nice kid who wouldn't hurt a fly to essentially someone who decapitated someone, a 13-year-old with a 13-inch knife. And the mother ostensibly had no idea. And I'd like to think, I'm a parent of 15-year-old twin boys. I'd like to think as parents, we'd have some sense of that things are changing, the behaviors are changing. But I have seen it happen very rapidly too, where over the course of a couple of weeks or a summer, somebody can entirely change their identity because of this emptiness that I'm talking about. So if you don't have countervailing influences, now I think if we're trying to be good parents, you're a mom, I'm a dad, we try to get our kids involved in activities and sports and music and things that give them a sense of mooring. And some faith-based also helps, because if they don't have that, every kid wants to belong to something, to a team. They're going to find something more toxic, a more toxic team to belong to if they don't have something healthier to tether themselves to. So part of the antidote is keep them tethered to something healthy.
There's a growing sense of instability and uncertainty in America these days. The price of everything seems to be way up. Food prices especially have the nation reeling. So what if you could grow your own food? Wouldn't that be empowering? Wouldn't that lower your stress level? Let me introduce you to ARC Seed Kits. Love this. ARC Seed Kits is a family-owned and operated business providing heirloom seeds for over 13 years now. ARC Seeds wants to get heirloom seeds into every home in America. 99% of seeds sold today do not have the ability to reproduce. Only heirloom seeds can be harvested and regrown year after year. That's what you get from ARC. ARC's desire to equip every home in America with the ability to grow and harvest its own food led it to create the all-in-one seed kit. This is designed to grow calorie-dense vegetables and fruits to sustain any home at any time. You will even get a seed guide that will give you everything you need to know about growing and harvesting every variety included in the kit. For a limited time, we've partnered with ARC to offer a 10% discount code as well. So if you go to ARC Seed Kits, that's ARK, seedkits.com, and enter MK Seeds, you will get a 10% discount code and be on your way to food and economic security, helping you, your family, and your community. Visit ARCseedkits.com to order your seed kits today, and don't forget to use that code MKSeeds. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.